She did.
Yes.
Can you have her come and confirm, please? I gotta talk to this directly. Well, I dismissed this and released the interpreter. Ms. Matuska, are we dismissing?
Jeff, can I approach with one of the computer real quick?
Yes. God, what was that? A bug. Try to take us off the game.
Was it an actual bug?
It was an actual bug. Okay. Yeah, we got some bug bets, but that's okay.
So yes, I'm gonna just. Thanks.
Thank you. I'm very confused as to what exactly is happening and why I have a witness in the stand. Who called the witness?
He just told me I called the witness, Your Honor.
Sorry.
On Dennison Jones.
Okay, I need you to stand up. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. It all happened so quickly. First there was a bug, then there was a sidebar, and then a witness. Okay, so there is a microphone that's in front of you.
Okay.
The lady behind you is taking down everything stated in the courtroom. And that microphone is not going to amplify your voice at all. It's only going to allow the recording system to hear what's happening. But we need to hear your responses. You're doing a great job, so we want to keep your voices loud and clear. Your responses need to be yes or no, no head nods or shakes, because we can't accurately place that into the record. If there's an objection, you will stop speaking immediately, because I have to make a ruling on that objection and then tell you if you're allowed to give the response or not, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, state your first and last name and spell both.
Nautica Cooney, Nauticacooney.
You can proceed, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Cooney, do you know Dennison Jones?
Yes.
And how do you know him?
Partying in EO.
So you partied with him previously?
No, I've seen him out in EO. Friends of a friend, you know.
Is he here in the courtroom right now?
Yes.
Could you please identify him by a piece of clothing that he's wearing?
Plaid polo shirt, button up.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant.
Any objection?
Yes, Your Honor, just to preserve the issue, objection, lack of pending. Thank you.
Objections overruled.
Understood. Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Cooney, did you have a interaction with Mr. Jones on February 9th or February 8th of 2024?
Yes.
Could you please explain to the court what started that incident?
A road rage incident.
Please explain a little bit more what you mean by that.
Sorry about that. So we were coming down Waverly Road. I hopped over in the lane and he was pretty upset about that. So I hopped back over. When I did, he rode past me, then got in
Objection
front of
calls for speculation, Your Honor.
You're talking about the speculation as to he was upset? That portion?
Yes.
Okay, I can agree.
I can come back, Your Honor. Thank you. So you were driving a vehicle on that day?
Yes, sir.
What vehicle were you driving?
A blue Equinox.
You said a what?
A blue Equinox.
Okay.
And Mr. Jones was driving a vehicle on that day as well?
Yes.
What vehicle was he driving?
A BMW, either dark blue, dark gray. It was dark at night.
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation for identification at this point.
I can go into identification, Your Honor.
As it relates to the vehicle,
Yeah, I guess I'm a little confused as well.
As it relates to the vehicle and as it relates to the driver.
okay. Did you want to respond to the
Your Honor,
foundational
she
objection?
stated that she saw Dennison Jones and that Dennison Jones was driving that vehicle. So I believe the proper foundation has been laid to be able to ID the vehicle that Dennison Jones was in.
Agreed. Objections overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor. Who was in the vehicle with you at the time, ma'am?
Me, my 2 children, and my boyfriend.
Did you see anyone else in the vehicle with Mr. Jones?
2 other people.
Did you recognize them?
No,
So you stated that there was a road rage incident. What started that road rage incident? to your
lane
knowledge?
switching.
And when you say lane switching, do you mean you lane switched, Mr. Jones lane switched, or something else?
I lane switched.
And when you say lane switch, what is, so where were your vehicles when you first saw Mr. Jones?
He was on the right side of the lane, I was on the left side of the lane.
Okay. So when you say lane switching, what do you mean in regards to the 2 vehicles?
So I hopped over onto his side of the lane.
And what did his vehicle do in response to you moving into his lane?
He braked behind my vehicle and then honked his horn at me.
Did the interaction end there?
No.
What happened after that?
After that, he sped up on the back of my vehicle and then made a lane switch around me to hop in front of my vehicle and slam on his brakes.
You said the defendant made a lane switch and then got in front of your vehicle?
Yep, and then hit his brakes.
What happened after that?
After that, I slowed down, we kept going straight, and then he hopped back over into the right lane. I sped up to keep going because I was headed to Malibu Drive to take my boyfriend there for a reason. Once I'm turning into Malibu Drive, I'm turning right into there. He is in the farthest most right lane. He makes a right turn into Malibu Drive as well and follows me.
So you say Malibu Drive, is that in the city of Lansing?
Yes,
Is that in Ingham County, state of Michigan?
yes.
So what happened when you 2 arrived on Malibu Drive?
I parked in the parking spot because I was not putting Malibu Drive to take my boyfriend to his mother. So I parked in the parking spot and then seeing Anderson pull up in his vehicle on the road and park.
And when you say he parked, where did he park in relation to you?
Middle of the road, not near my vehicle, still in the middle of the road. I'm in the parking lot.
So he was not in a parking spot?
No.
You know your boyfriend's mom's name?
Clovis Jacobs.
She ended up, and this was at her house. Did she end up coming out of her house?
She was actually never in the house. She was in the car. She had just got back from somewhere. So she did hop out of the vehicle once the altercation started.
So where was her vehicle then in relation to yours?
Parked right next to mine in the parking spot. She, like I said, she had just got home.
When Mr. Jones parked in the middle of the street, what happened after that?
He left his door open and literally ran right over to my car, ran into my window, banged on my driver window.
Did he say anything when he did this?
He said, "You gotta look what the fuck you do, you can't drive like that." Basically just raging at me, you know, yelling at me, banging on my window.
What happened after that?
My boyfriend got out of the car, was like, "Don't talk to my woman like that, don't talk to my woman like that." All of a sudden,
Objection, Your Honor. Her boyfriend's statements would be hearsay.
Okay. Do you want to respond to the objection?
No, Your Honor, I
Sustained.
can, thank you. We actually can't talk about things that other people say that's hearsay. It's an out of court statement. So your boyfriend got out of the vehicle?
Mhm. Yeah, he got out of the vehicle and then that's when the fighting occurred.
When you say fighting, what do you mean by that?
Swinging, pushing, yelling, cussing, physical and verbal.
Between who?
Anderson and Quavon.
Ms. Quavon, your boyfriend?
Yes.
If you could explain a little more detail exactly what you saw in regards to the fight that occurred.
Yelling, swinging, then Anderson ran back towards his vehicle, opened his trunk, started grabbing things out of his trunk. Clovis ran over and tried to stop it. Please don't. Kept going.
Want to go back real quick.
Yeah.
You said swinging and fighting. Who initiated that?
I'm not certain who's on the first one.
So you said after the fighting that occurred between you and your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I apologize. Between Mr.
Okay.
Janison,
Yes.
or
there we
Janison
go.
Jones
Mhm.
and your boyfriend. Mr. Jones ran over to his vehicle and you said that he was reaching for something. Did you see what he was reaching for?
Yeah, to top his trunk, and then he went in his trunk and proceeded to grab out what are those called for the windows in the winter time? A window scraper. There was also a broom back there and a dustpan.
And did he take those things out of his vehicle?
Those items were swung, yes.
Who were they swung at?
Jamari one, Kovan one. It was, like I said,
And you said Quavon was your boyfriend. Who was Jamal?
his older brother.
When did he arrive on scene?
He arrived as soon as the yelling and the loud fighting occurred. Then he came downstairs from inside the home.
Okay, how many people you said your boyfriend is named who again?
Kovan.
Vaughn.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
then Javon, there was someone else that came?
Jamari, yes, his older brother.
Okay. And was there another person?
His mother, Kovatis. That's
Okay,
it.
thank you.
You had stated that his mother, Quavanis, walked over to Mr. Jones's vehicle. What did Mr. Jones do in response to her arriving to the vehicle?
He didn't care. He kept doing what he was doing.
So you had stated that he was swinging these items at both your boyfriend as well as your boyfriend's brother.
Yes.
What was he swinging in particular?
Broom. It was a broom. It was a long broom.
What happened after that?
That led to them running away. That ended up to a fighting being in front of the car.
When you say them running away, who do you mean by that?
Like them, Jamari, Kovan, everybody that was fighting, and then backing up from it because he's swinging a broom. So they ended up backing up. So they're moving towards the front of the vehicle.
And whose vehicle is that? Mr. Jones's vehicle?
I believe so.
The vehicle that Mr. Jones was driving at the time?
Yes, it's the vehicle that was in his possession, yes.
What happened when the fight was in front of the vehicle?
Mr. Jones decided he didn't want to fight anymore and he got.
Objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation.
Objection sustained.
What did Mr. Jones do after your boyfriend and your boyfriend's brother were in front of the vehicle?
He hopped in his vehicle and he started the vehicle. And he ran his mother over.
When you say run his mother over, who do you mean by he?
Mr. Jones ran Kovatis Jacobs over. And partially Jamari Horn as well.
Where was your boyfriend's mother when this fight was occurring? I know you said that she was at the
Yeah,
back
she
at
was-
one point, but when did she move?
When she moved to the front, when everybody moves to the front of the car, 'cause she's still trying to control, stop, please no fighting. That would be-
Mr. Jones, you said got into the vehicle and
Yes,
drove. Did he say anything?
no,
And where were the people that he ended up hitting? Where were they in relation to the vehicle when he was driving?
Kovatis Jacobs was in front of the vehicle, Jamari Horn was in the front, right? So he wasn't center on, but she was center on.
Were they both standing there when Mr. Jones started
Yes.
driving?
Yes,
And from what you saw, Mr. Jones ran into both of them?
yes.
Did you see that, what ended up happening to either of them afterwards?
Yeah, yep. Afterwards, he kept going and he left the area. Kovatis Jacobs was on the ground, he got to the side, waiting for EMTs to come, same with Jamari Horn.
Did you see any injuries on Jamari?
Jamari, I believe his knee was messed up, but Kovatis had a lot of injuries.
What kind of injuries did you see?
On Kovatis,
Yes.
her head, her knee, her ankle was messed up, it was twisted, head was busted open, blood was everywhere.
After you had moved them out of the way and Mr. Jones had left, what did you do?
At that point, we were just waiting for EMTs, but in the meanwhile, when all that happened, Mr. Jones actually circled back around to pick up one of his friends that he left and something he dropped on the ground.
So I want to go back real quick. You said you were waiting for EMTs.
Yep.
Were you the one that called?
No, one of the neighbors upstairs was yelling out the window and she ended up calling the police.
And then I also want to go back. You had stated that when you first saw Mr. Jones inside of his vehicle, you saw two other people inside of the vehicle as well.
Yeah.
I know you had just stated that he came back to pick up one of them. Was one of them still in the vehicle or
Oh,
do you
no,
know?
one of his friends ran off towards the woods behind the apartment. The other stayed in, I guess, necessarily the area he pulled into the street, just stayed there, kind of scrambled, not knowing what to do, and then Mr. Jones pulled back up not too long after and grabbed him.
Did Mr. Jones say anything when he came back?
No.
Did Mr. Jones check on anybody?
No.
He just drove off after picking up his friend?
Yep. Go off.
You had also stated that I think you said he was picking up something else off the ground.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
don't-
that was?
I don't know, no, still don't know to this day what it was, but he did drop something, came back and picked it up and then picked up his friend.
Did anything else happen of note before police arrived?
No.
1 second, Your Honor.
No problem. Can you spell Corvades' name, please? I'm talking to the witness.
Covatus' name?
Corvades, yes.
I do plan on calling her later, Your Honor, so she.
Oh,
can-
she is a witness today?
She is a witness today.
I was gonna say, I might slaughter it, I'm so sorry.
What about your boyfriend's name? You spell that?
Yeah, Quovon,
Okay, and his brother's name?
Jamari.
Thank you.
Nothing additional from this witness, Your Honor. Thank you.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, just to clarify, where approximately in the city did this alleged incident start?
Off of Waverly Road, Malibu Drive.
Okay, at what approximate time?
Didn't even get that to you, I'm sorry, I apologize.
That's okay. And how did the vehicle first approach you?
Like I said, it was a road rage incident on the road. Are you talking about when we parked?
No, I'm talking about when the incident, when the encounter on the roads first started. How did the vehicle first allegedly?
Yes, like I said, I was lane switching. I lane switched over to his lane. He didn't like that. And then his vehicle slowed down, blared his horn on me.
Okay.
And then hopped back over into his own lane.
And what type of vehicle was this again?
A BMW,
What color was it?
dark blue, gray. It was nighttime, couldn't tell.
Okay, it was nighttime, couldn't tell. Were the windows tinted?
Yeah.
Okay,
A
and
little bit.
so the windows were tinted. How many people were in the vehicle?
Three.
Three?
Yeah.
So the driver plus two others?
Yep.
Okay, so not four.
No.
Okay. So if you told an officer there are four people in the vehicle, you were just wrong at the time, correct?
I didn't tell an officer there's four people.
Okay. And so you were driving and you were focusing on the road ahead, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's safe to say when the vehicle first rolled up, you didn't get a good look at who was actually driving, correct?
No, I knew it was him when he hopped out the vehicle.
Okay, but when you talked to the police, you didn't identify Mr. Jones, you identified someone else, correct?
Right, because I did not know his name at first.
Okay, so the extent of your encounters with Mr. Jones was some run-ins possibly in East Lansing, you said earlier?
Yeah,
Okay, so you don't know Mr. Jones, correct?
not like that, no.
Okay. But you did tell the police that you knew one of his friends, correct?
Yeah, because like I said, EL party in front of a friend.
Okay, friend of a friend, all right. So At the time the vehicle was behind you, you didn't know who the driver was.
No, I didn't know who the driver was until we pulled over and he got out of his car.
I see. Okay. And approximately how long did the vehicle follow behind?
It was literally not even 2 minutes because it happened like right by the house. It happened like right by Waverly and Old Lansing Road, a little past there.
Okay.
Nothing started happening.
Yeah. And so just so I'm clear, so there was window tint on the vehicle?
Like I said, it was tinted a little bit. I could still see in it, but it wasn't completely black. That's what you're asking me.
Okay. And the two you pull over and where was your vehicle located again?
Parked in the parking spot.
In the parking spot, so it's
In
just
the
like
apartment
a
complex.
apartment
Yep,
complex?
it's a complex, yep.
Okay, and then where was the BMW pulled over?
On Malibu Drive in the middle of the road.
Malibu Drive in the middle of the road.
Yes,
What were the lighting conditions like over that part?
there's a light right under the car, right there where he parked.
Okay.
So there's enough for me to see at least. That's what you're asking me.
Okay, so you can see the vehicle at that point,
Yeah. Let's see what the BMW. Let's see what it was.
and approximately what time was this again?
I just told you I can't give you a time. I apologize.
Okay.
I know it was nighttime.
So, and what vehicle were you driving?
An Equinox, a blue one.
Okay. So not a Chevy Silverado?
No,
All right, so if you told the police that you're driving a 2013 Chevy Silverado, that was wrong too?
I didn't tell them that.
Okay. And Mr. Jones, you testified earlier, approached you when you were still in the vehicle, correct?
Yeah,
All right. And did he have a sling on his arm? Did he have anything on either of his arms?
no,
Did you notice any bandages or anything on his
no, he
hands?
was not at all to the point where he didn't have anything on his arm. So he was not hurt at all.
How about his hands? Did you notice anything on his hands?
No,
Did you know anything on his arms, that any sort of bandages, anything
no,
like
sir,
that?
I did not notice anything like that.
Okay. And the person who initially approached you, approximately how tall?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Do you want to respond to the objection?
Sure, it goes to the foundation of her identification. It goes to who she's claiming was the person first
You're
approached.
supposed to know how tall somebody is.
Well, if you don't know, that's fine. Just,
Well, I haven't said she's gonna give the answer or not. You know how tall she is, you said? Or how tall?
How tall the,
He is? So your
yeah,
question?
I'm asking approximately how tall was the person that first approached?
Okay, so you're trying to, you said you're going to the foundation of the identification?
Who first approached her and confronted her when the person exited the vehicle?
The objection is sustained. You do not need to answer that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. So what was the person who first approached you when they left the vehicle? What side of the vehicle did they hop out?
Top of the driver's side.
Driver's side.
Yeah,
And what were they wearing then?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
That's okay. And again, you didn't see any sort of sling, no bandages, nothing on their.
Objection, Your Honor, absent answer.
The objection sustained.
Thank you. And your vehicle, you were parked, your window was up, correct?
Yeah,
All right. And did the person have anything in their hands when they first approached?
Objection, Your Honor, absent answer.
Any sort of,
The objection, are you gonna respond to the objection?
yes, Your Honor. I'm asking specifically if the person was carrying anything in their hands, not if they had any wraps on their arms or anything on their arms themselves. So I'm asking a somewhat different question, Your Honor. I'm just trying to get
Was he
to,
carrying something in his hand was the question? You were gonna say something?
I believe you already asked that, Your Honor. He asked if he had anything on his hands or,
On his hands is different than carrying something, so I'll allow a slightly different question.
my apologies, sorry about the sequence here. Was the person carrying anything in their hands when they first approached?
that I could see, no, because he was banging on my window when he approached.
Okay. And when the person you claim was Mr. Jones started banging on your window, who reacted first? Did you roll down the window at all? Did
No.
someone?
I didn't roll down my window, no.
Okay, what happened at that point?
My boyfriend hopped out the vehicle.
Okay, your boyfriend hopped out of the vehicle and then your boyfriend then went and confronted someone?
He told him not to talk to his woman like that
Okay,
because he's cussing me out through the window, telling me things I should or should not do while I drive.
I see. Okay. So what was going on with the other passengers in the vehicle at that point?
They were sitting in the car still.
Okay, and the person was, who else was in the vehicle with you at that time?
My two children.
Okay, and the two children remain seated in the
Yeah,
vehicle, correct?
they're young, yes, of course.
And who's your boyfriend again?
Kovan Horn.
Kovan. And was it just Kovan and the person you claim Mr. Jones initially at first engaged?
Yes, until Mr. Jones went back to his vehicle and then his friends got out of the car.
Okay, so your testimony here is that this was, there was some type of fight going on, correct?
Yes,
All right, so did you see Mr. Jones swing his left arm or right arm at all?
yes, they were fighting, yes, of course.
Okay, so you claim you could see him
I've
trying to
seen the whole
punch?
fight. I was literally right there when they were fighting, yes.
Okay, so approximately how far were you from the location of the fight? So,
Front row of the jury stand from where I'm at right now, from where we're, the front bench right there, from where I'm at right now. Maybe, I don't know, it's like 6 feet right there, maybe.
okay,
I was very close, close
very
enough to
close.
see.
And what were the other, did you observe any other people get involved?
Yeah,
Very-
his two friends were involved as well. The heavier set one was not fighting as much, but the other one was.
Okay,
They were all fighting.
who was the heavier set person? You know that person?
I don't know any of his friends' names.
Okay, what was the heavier set person?
Black sweatshirt, gray shorts, gray pants, one of these two.
Okay, and what about the other person you saw?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance. I don't see how these other individuals' clothes have any relevance to this case.
Did you want to respond to the objection?
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, it goes to the credibility of the witness here, and just a basic question about her memory of what she claims allegedly happened.
I'll allow it.
Thank you.
What was your question?
Sure. You described two other people.
Mhm,
One person you described as a heavier set
mhm.
wearing a black clothing. So the best of your recollections, what was the third person wearing?
It was like a cream hoodie, a cream color, between white and beige, you know, cream.
Okay, and as to your recollections with this third person, did you recognize that third person?
No, I had no idea who that third person was. I've never seen them today.
Did they appear to be younger to you, older?
They all seemed younger, so yes,
They all seem younger?
they all seem young. Yeah,
Okay, and then what was their role when this was going on?
what was their role?
Yeah.
Like the people that got out the car?
Yeah.
They were fighting as well.
Okay, who were they fighting?
It was Jamari, Kovan Horn, Mr. Jones, and his two friends. They were all fighting.
Okay, so at some point, somebody else joined the fight in support of your boyfriend, correct?
His brother?
His brother.
Yes,
Okay, and who was that again?
Jamari Horn.
Jamari Horn, and you recall approximately at one point he intervened. Was this like a few minutes, a few seconds? Was this, the fight was going on for a few hours,
No, a few minutes.
few minutes?
Few minutes. He heard the yelling. He heard the commotion. He came downstairs.
Okay, and were you in the vehicle the whole time or were you outside?
No, I was in the vehicle for literally like 2 seconds, and as soon as Mr. Jones and my boyfriend started fighting, I got out of the vehicle.
Okay, so you got out of the vehicle. Did you take your kids and then go inside the house or something?
No, I didn't go outside the house. My kids stayed right there in the vehicle. They were in the road over there.
Okay, so where were you positioned then in terms of the vehicle when this fight was going on? Did the vehicle possibly obstruct your view?
No, my vehicle was still parked at the apartment. I'm standing, like I said, 6 feet away from his vehicle watching the fight.
Okay, so the person you claim was Mr. Jones and your boyfriend were fighting, and then then what was the sequence then in terms of who joined the fight?
After that, it was just two friends that hopped out the car, and then Jamari came outside not too long after that.
Not two,
Yes.
but you don't know approximately what time or anything like
I
that?
don't, like I said, it was nighttime.
Okay, and then what was his brother's involvement in all this?
Supporting his brother, making sure his brother didn't get beat up. I mean, making sure that his brother didn't get hurt. I don't understand the question. Sorry.
Sure, was your brother's boyfriend also swinging, punching, kicking, engaged in the fight?
Jamari Horn?
Yes,
Yes.
okay, and who did he try to attack?
Like I said, everybody was fighting. Everybody swinging punches at everybody. There was no initial person initially swinging on one person. Everybody were just throwing hits.
Okay. But at some point, you claimed earlier, that the person you described as Mr. Jones went back to the trunk of his car,
He
correct?
did, yeah.
Okay,
This is after what we're talking about right now, what I just described, how they were all fighting. That was after that. After he decided he didn't want to fight no more, then he goes to the trunk and tries to get something. Gets
okay.
out a broom, gets out a windshield cleaner.
Like a windshield scraper?
Yeah, like the ones using with him.
Okay. And did he have anything on his hands, gloves, anything like that, when he was allegedly carrying these items?
No, I haven't seen him.
Not that you saw. Okay. And did anybody else that you observed try to grab anything?
No, like another object out of the trunk?
Yeah.
No, it was just Jones.
Okay, and what did he do with those objects?
He swung those objects on them,
Okay. Swung those objects at who?
on Clavon Horn and Jamari.
Okay, but he never connected, correct?
As far as I know, no.
Okay. But you didn't see anything else, right? Just the scrapers, just the
It was
brooms?
just the scrapers and the brooms that he pulled the trunk down. Yep.
Okay. And after he grabbed those items, what happened at that?
He was swinging them and that led everybody to move to the front of the vehicle. Afterwards, is that okay? Okay, afterwards, he dropped those items and he hopped in the vehicle and took off.
Okay, all right. And then you testified he came back early, picked up one of the passengers.
Not even like literally 2 minutes later, circled around the block or something, came back, picked something up off the ground and picked up the stuff and left.
Okay. But you didn't see what he picked up off the ground, correct?
No, I have no idea what it is.
I got
To
it.
this day.
Okay. And have you provided any statements about what allegedly happened here outside of this courtroom today?
No,
Okay,
like to an officer, like what I've been seeing, yeah, but that's it.
to the officer, but anybody else,
No,
not to your knowledge?
No.
Okay. Have you had any follow-up conversations after you talked to police initially with any police officers, anything like this?
about this case?
Yeah.
No,
We posted on social media at all about it, Facebook, anything?
nope,
No? Okay. All right. And at the time of this alleged incident, so February 2024, had you been consuming any substances that might have impacted your memory and medications, anything
No.
like that? No?
no.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
No redirect, Your Honor.
This is sequestration order, ma'am. You're not to discuss any portions of your testimony with any other witness, okay?
Okay,
You're free to go.
thank you.
Next witness.
Yes, Your Honor. The people.
Can you raise your right hand? Your other right hand?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you. You can have a seat. Oh, there's a microphone that's in front of you. And then the lady behind you has to take down everything being stated here today, but that microphone is not going to amplify your voice for the courtroom. So we need you to speak loud and clear so that we can hear your responses. If there's an objection, you'll stop speaking. I'll make a ruling on that objection. I'll let you know if you can give that response or not, okay? Also, your answers to yes or no questions must state yes or no. They can't just be head nods or shakes or mm-hms, uh-huhs, okay?
Yes.
Okay, state your first and last name, spell both.
Cutoffs, Cuovaves, Jacobs, Jacobs.
Thank you for proceeding.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Jacobs, how are you doing today? I understand. I want to direct your attention back to February 8th, 2024, on the evening of that day. Where were you at on that day?
When the incident occurred,
Yes.
I was sitting outside in my car. I had just came from the gas station
Where, so you said you were sitting outside your car. Where was your car at that time?
in the parking lot.
The parking lot of where?
I don't know the apartment names, but they're right off in Malibu.
Okay. Is that in the city of Lansing,
Yes,
Ingham County, state of Michigan?
yes,
And did you end up seeing a dispute that happened outside the apartments on that day?
yes.
Please explain to the court what you saw that day.
My son's girlfriend pulled up abruptly, and then right behind him was Mr. Jones. And
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation at this point, lack of foundation.
I'm going to sustain the objection.
Understood. So you saw another vehicle show up.
yeah,
What happened between the people inside of the vehicle that your boyfriend's daughter showed up in, as well as the other vehicle? Did something happen between the two? Your son, yes. Sorry, I apologize. What happened between the party with your son and the party with the other people inside of the vehicle?
Well, I don't know if I can say this. Mr. Jones stepped outside his car. He approached the car that,
So when you say Mr. Jones, do you mean Dennison Jones?
yes,
And how are you familiar with Mr. Jones?
I'm not at all.
Okay. So that person stepped out of the
Your
vehicle.
Honor, I'm gonna object to this because we don't have a foundation. We don't have identification either. Thank you.
Okay, so I agree that she can't testify as if she knew the person when he stepped out, but
And I understand that, Your Honor, so I'm just moving forward as that individual being the driver of the vehicle.
okay.
So should that how I should refer to him as? the driver?
Are you you're not familiar with Mr. Jones?
No.
Okay, so how do you know someone's name is Dennison Jones that's connected to this case?
The information that I had, got from my son's girlfriend, my son's girlfriend knows him.
Okay, so yes, so you would be referring to someone pulling up, but you have not properly identified them in court at this time. And so I will grant or sustain the objection.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Understood. So the individual that came out of the vehicle on that day, on February 8th, 2024, in front of your apartment, what time was it around, if you remember? Was it morning, afternoon, evening? Evening. Understood. So this individual that came out of the vehicle, that other vehicle, what happened between him and your son?
Well, it was two other individuals that got out the car with him.
So there were three other individuals in that vehicle that was,
Yes,
and where was that vehicle parked?
on Malibu,
In the middle of the road?
in the middle of the road.
And so these people came out of the vehicle, what did they do?
Approached the car that my son was in.
And what did they do when they approached the vehicle?
He immediately got out the car, and it was,
When you say he, who do you mean?
my son.
Your son. So there was a confrontation. When you say a confrontation, what do you mean?
Verbal at first.
Between your son and the three individuals in that other vehicle?
Yes.
And what happened after the verbal confrontation?
It escalated into physical.
Where were you in relation to all of this?
I had got out the car, and I was trying to break it up, asking the people that pulled up to leave, and told them that I was calling the police.
Your Honor. Objection, her statements would be hearsay.
Your Honor, these are exclamatory statements. They're statements that she's making in the moment after she's seeing this fight. She's just explaining the immediate response that she had to seeing this confrontation between her son and three other individuals.
Objections overruled.
Thank you. You stated that you tried to break it up, correct?
Yes.
And so then where did you get involved? Where did the fight end up occurring? Was
The
it
fight was all over the place.
was all over the place?
Yeah.
Okay. Understood. Was it just fists or did something else get involved later?
It was fist.
It was fists. Okay. Did that fight end up stopping?
Um, yeah,
And how did the fight stop?
by me being hit with a car.
Okay, I want to take it back then. So there's this confrontation going on. Where do we go from the fight that's happening? So you said you got hit by a car. Who was driving that vehicle? Was it one of the three individuals that was in the fight? Was it someone else?
That's one of 3 individuals that was in the fight.
And how did they go from the fight into the vehicle?
He ran to his car. And got in his car.
Did he just go to the driver's seat or did he go to somewhere else in the vehicle?
To
before?
the driver's seat.
And I just want to be clear. The fight, there was never any weapons involved in the fight? Was there anything swung besides fists?
I don't remember anything being other than a fist fight, but I was in the middle of trying to retrieve my sons, pull them back, and have them, the people that pulled up in the car, just leave.
Understood. So you said one of the three ended up getting into the vehicle. What, did he get into the driver's seat?
Yes.
And what happened after he got into the driver's seat?
This is when the fight was in the street, from the parking lot to the street. My one son was fighting with another guy. We broke that up. My son and I broke that fight up.
And which son is that? What's his name?
Jamari.
Okay.
So me and Jamari is coming across the street. Jamari's behind me, but not close behind me, but he's behind me. The driver of the car hit his gas, hit me and my son.
Was that in the middle of the road?
Yes.
What ended up happening after you got hit by the vehicle?
I was knocked unconscious, but from my understanding, I was dragged away.
So you were knocked unconscious. When did you regain consciousness again? Sorry, I guess I should ask, where were you when you regained consciousness?
Right out in the middle of the street.
Was there anyone else additional there at the time that weren't there at the time of the fight?
Yes.
Who?
Neighbors that stayed in the duplexes and in the apartment building.
How were you feeling at the time?
At the time?
Yeah, at that
me
time.
being hit,
Yes.
I was
Were you able to move?
not really. I tried to stand up.
Were you in pain? Did you see any blood on you?
I didn't see but I felt a warm sensation come down the side of my face.
The police and EMTs end up arriving on scene?
No.
They end up taking you to the hospital?
Yes.
How long were you in the hospital as a result of this?
Approximately 3 weeks, and then I went to a nursing home.
Any lasting injuries from that incident?
Yes, the main one is my knee. I have to have a knee replacement.
Said the main one. Were there other
Yes,
injuries?
I broke, both of my legs were broke. Collarbone, elbow. And I had multiple stitches in my head, inside and out.
One second. Your Honor. Remember much about the driving of that vehicle prior to you getting hit? So for instance, was it a very fast, like, does the car
He
driving really
pulled- he
fast?
pulled in the on Malibu abrupt. Very abrupt.
So it was very abrupt after when he hit you? The speed of the vehicle was very fast?
Oh, after he hit me?
Yes, yes. So when the vehicle drove and hit you, was the vehicle going fast? Was the vehicle going
Oh,
slow?
yeah, he hit the gas, yes.
Okay. And you were in the middle of the road at the time?
Yes.
Did you see your son get hit as well?
I didn't see him get hit, but he was in-
So you saw injuries after this on him?
yes.
What injuries did you see on him?
He was bleeding from his side of his leg. And he didn't have a shirt on. He was bleeding on his leg.
Have you noticed any lasting injuries?
No.
Thank you. Nothing additional, thank you.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Jacobs, could you describe to us what the three gentlemen who hopped out of the BMW, what they looked like?
This is one of them, the driver. One was a heavyset, dark-skinned guy. Kind of foolish, messy hair. And the other guy, he was like a caramel tall guy.
What were these? These were all gentlemen, correct?
From,
From what you could tell,
yeah,
what were these people wearing?
I don't know exactly. I don't remember.
Do you remember anything if they were approximately how tall were these individuals to the best?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Mm.
Okay, so, and then what were the builds like? Were they skinnier? Were they heavy? You referenced one was heavier set.
Mhm. I don't know if you consider him medium built. And like a son.
Do you recall approximately what time this happened?
It was in a late evening. I don't know exactly what time.
Okay, so it was very dark outside, correct?
But the area is lit. It has street lights and lights and like.
And your two sons were there, correct?
Yeah,
And one son was in the vehicle and the other son approached from the house, correct?
yes.
And when the three people who left the BMW first approached your son's vehicle, they came out at the same time, correct?
He was the first.
But the other two gentlemen were with them.
Followed behind him, yes.
Okay, so they all kind of came out to you, correct?
Yeah.
And did your sons ever try to attack the other vehicle? Did they ever try to hit with anything?
Not to my knowledge.
Did you ever see your sons with any objects in their hands, like a broom or scraper?
No.
Did you observe your sons trying to take anything out from any of the other occupants' hands at all? Like to grab anything, or
No, they were fist fighting.
they were just fist fighting?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you didn't see any other
No,
items being used or anything like that,
No.
correct? And approximately how long did this all go on, to the best of your recollection?
probably 10, 15 minutes.
And you testified earlier that you suffered a concussion, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So
Said a yes. Said a yes.
Yes, I'm sorry.
that's okay. So it's safe to say that this injury might impact your memory of what you can recall from events that evening, correct?
Objection, Your Honor, speculation.
Has this concussion impacted your
I would
memory?
overrule her objection. She can answer.
What was the question?
Sure. Has this concussion impacted your memory at all?
In the beginning,
Okay. And separate from the concussion, were you taking any medications or using any substances at the time that might have impacted your memory?
before this accident,
Yeah, before the incident.
no,
Okay. So you hadn't been drinking, you hadn't been,
no,
nothing like that.
no.
And did you see any window tint in the vehicle? How would you describe the BMW?
A dark blue,
Did you see any window tint in the vehicle?
no,
No?
not in the front. Like,
How about the windows on the sides or on the rear? Was there any window tint?
I didn't pay any attention.
Okay. In terms of the three gentlemen that you observed, were any of them wearing any sort of sling, or did they have any sort of bandages or anything like
No.
that on them at the time?
No,
Yeah, you didn't see anything in their hands when they approached the vehicle, correct?
no,
You didn't see any sort of, nothing, not like a medical bandage, for example. You didn't see anything on anybody's fingers, anything like that, correct?
for example, like an arm brace, like what he's wearing.
Yeah.
No,
Okay, you didn't see that at all on any.
no,
And in terms of the fight itself, did it look like either of the three gentlemen had any sort of impairment with either the right arm or left arm, couldn't swing
No.
it?
no,
No, from what you could see, everyone was swinging very freely.
healthy,
They appeared to be healthy people.
healthy young man.
Same with your boys too, right?
Same with my boys.
Yeah, they were healthy young men at the time and they were
Out there
engaged.
scrapping, yes.
Okay. Scrapping, and while all that was scrapping was going on, did any of it end up over by the BMW, possibly hitting?
Yes,
Ah,
yes,
okay. So your sons might have damaged the BMW while they were scrapping with the three other occupants?
no,
No? Okay, but part of the fight did end up over by the BMW, correct? In the middle of the
yes, in
street?
the street, yes.
Okay. So describe how you tried to break up the fight. Were you swinging on anybody? Were you trying to pull people off?
No, and that was a lie that someone in the car said that a guy knocked me out. The only time that I was knocked out was when I was hit with the car,
Okay,
but no one knocked me out. I was basically grabbing on my own children to
okay,
get them back.
okay, thank you. Did any of the neighbors ultimately help you or help your sons at all?
Yes, I was helped about the street by a few people.
Okay, but that was afterwards, but did
Yeah.
any of the neighbors join in the
No,
fight at the time? No?
no.
No further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Redirect.
Just briefly, Your Honor. You had mentioned that you were helped by neighbors. Are you aware if any neighbors saw the original incident?
Yes, a few people.
What were their names, if you know?
I do not.
Okay, understood. Nothing additional, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. There is a sequestration order, Ms. Jacobs, so that means you're not to speak to any of the other witnesses about your testimony. You
I would
understand?
like to say something
You would like to say something
Not-
regarding what, ma'am?
to this.
Oh, there's not a question on the
Oh,
table.
okay.
Okay, but you can talk to the prosecutor at another time, okay? Oh, You're all set for today, ma'am.
Thank you.
Any other witnesses today on this case?
Not today, Your Honor.
Okay, we need to reset this to continue, I should say.
Correct, Your Honor, as we still need the officers for the fleeing third charge.
May 15th at 10:30. Any additional matters on today's record?
Not from the people, Your Honor, and I do plan on coming back for that May 15th date.
Sounds good, thank you. We're all set on today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Have a good afternoon, Your Honor.
Same to you. Mr. Lopes, are we bringing?